The Great Hall of Eternal Harmony had witnessed 3 millennia of perfect peace. Its crystalline walls had never echoed with raised voices. Its bioluminescent floors had never been stained with conflict. The assembled representatives of the Galactic Concordance sat in their designated sectors, the ethereal Zephyrians floating in their containment fields, the insectoid Kythera clicking their mandibles in measured rhythm, the plant-like Verdani swaying gently in their nutrient pools. Ambassador Veltar of the Zephyrians extended his gaseous tendrils toward the central podium, his voice carrying the weight of ages. For 3,000 standard years, we have maintained perfect equilibrium. No disputes, no conflicts, no... The massive doors burst open with a sound that made every species in the hall flinch. Through the breach came something unprecedented, laughter. "Sorry we're late," called out a bipedal creature with an impossibly wide facial expression that somehow conveyed joy and menace simultaneously. Traffic was murder getting through the asteroid belt. Had to blow up a few rocks that were in our way. The human delegation strode into the hall with an easy confidence that set every diplomatic protocol alarm screaming. Their leader, a woman with short brown hair and eyes that sparkled with mischief, wore what appeared to be formal attire, if formal attire included visible weapon harnesses and boots that looked designed for kicking down doors. "I am Captain Sarah Chen, representing Earth and her colonies," she announced, her smile never wavering even as her hand rested casually on what the universal translators identified as an explosive device. "We got your invitation to join this peace summit about, 3 months ago. Fascinating stuff. Really loved the part about eternal harmony through rigid adherence to established protocols." The Kythera Queen speaker's antennae twitched in confusion. "Protocols exist to prevent conflict. Surely your species understands the necessity of..." "Oh, we understand necessity," interrupted Lieutenant Torres, Chen's second in command, his grin matching his captain's. He gestured to the grenades clipped to his belt like decorative ornaments. "We just have a different definition of it." Veltar's form shimmered with distress. "Your delegation appears to be armed. This violates every principle of the Concordance. Violence has been abolished from civilized discourse for 3,000 years. Yeah, we got the memo," Chen said, pulling out a data pad and scrolling through it with one hand while the other remained on her sidearm. "Impressive run, really. But here's the thing. We've been watching your little peace party from the outside, and we noticed something interesting." She activated a holographic display that materialized in the center of the hall. Star charts flickered to life, showing the expansion patterns of concordant species over the millennia. "See, while you've all been sitting here playing nice, you've also been playing Empire. The Zephyrians have peacefully negotiated control of 47 systems. The Kythera have harmoniously integrated 31 colony worlds. The Verdani have symbiotically merged with 19 separate ecosystems." Chen's smile turned sharp. "Funny how your peace only extends to each other, but not to the smaller species you've been absorbing." The Verdani elder rustled its leaves in what might have been embarrassment. "Those were consensual mergers, like the Talari?" Torres interjected, his casual tone carrying an edge of steel. "Who consented after you cut off their trade routes? Or the Nexal, who agreed to integration right after mysterious plant blights destroyed their food supplies?" The hall fell silent except for the soft humming of life support systems. Chen stepped forward, her boots clicking on the bioluminescent floor. "Here's what's going to happen. You're going to release every species you've peacefully absorbed over the last 3,000 years. You're going to pay reparations, and you're going to do it with a smile. And if we refuse," the Kythera Queen speaker hissed, her mandibles flaring. Chen's grin widened impossibly. "Well, that's where these come in handy." She hefted a grenade, examining it with the casual interest of someone discussing the weather. "You see, you've gotten so comfortable with your careful, ritualized peace that you've forgotten what actual conflict looks like. We haven't. You would threaten violence in the Hall of Eternal Harmony?" Veltar's voice carried notes of horror that transcended species barriers. "Oh, we're not threatening violence," Chen replied cheerfully. "We're threatening war. There's a difference. Violence is what you do to individuals. War is what you do to systems. And humans? We're really, really good at war." Lieutenant Torres nodded enthusiastically. "We've been practicing on each other for millennia. Great training program. Very comprehensive. But surely," the Verdani elder pleaded, "civilized beings can resolve this through negotiation?" "Absolutely." Shen clapped her hands together and several species jumped at the sharp sound. We love negotiating. It's just that our negotiation style includes discussing what happens if talks break down. Contingency planning. It keeps everyone focused. She activated another holographic display, this one showing the human fleet positioned strategically throughout the sector, ships bristling with weapons, their designs optimized not for exploration or beauty, but for the singular purpose of breaking things efficiently. The beautiful thing about your 3,000-year peace, Chen continued conversationally, is that none of you have maintained serious military capabilities. Why would you? You've had perfect harmony. Meanwhile, we've been out there in the dark, fighting pirates, hostile environments, and each other. It's made us very good at problem-solving through applied kinetic energy. The assembled delegates exchanged glances that managed to convey panic across multiple incompatible sensory systems. What do you want? Veltar asked finally. Chen's expression softened slightly, becoming almost maternal. We want you to be better. The galaxy is a big place, full of species that deserve the chance to grow and develop on their own terms. You've been playing God for 3 millennia, deciding who gets absorbed and who gets to remain independent. That ends now. She gestured to her aide, who began distributing data pads to each delegation. These contain the terms of the new arrangement. Full independence for all absorbed species, reparations to be paid over the next century, and most importantly, a new galactic charter that includes humans as enforcers of fair play. And if we don't accept? The Cathera Queen speaker asked. Chen's smile returned to its full, terrifying brightness. Then we'll demonstrate why humans have a saying, peace through superior firepower. And trust me, after 3,000 years of peace, you really don't want to see what we consider superior. The silence stretched for long moments before Veltar's form began to coalesce into something resembling resignation. Where do we sign? He asked. Chen's laughter filled the Hall of Eternal Harmony. And for the first time in 3,000 years, it was the sound of genuine peace, the kind that came not from rigid protocols, but from the understanding that some species smiled while carrying very big sticks. Now that's what I call diplomacy, Torres murmured, and his grenade seemed to gleam a little brighter in the crystal light.